The Sevens series is back, and it was certainly back with a bang. Having waited months for the Sevens series to return, we were treated to an incredible weekend of rugby filled with exciting tries and thrilling action. So let's take a look at the Dubai Sevens weekend we just saw and what the major headlines are from the weekend. South Africa back with a bang. One of the big shocks of the 2022-23 season was the massive drop-off in performance of South Africa. After 12 years of South Africa being in the top 5 at the end of the season, they struggled massively towards the back end of 2023 and ended up finishing 7th. They failed to even make it to a final in the last 6 events. This was the lowest that South Africa had finished in a long time, and so they would have been thrilled to start off the 2023-24 season with a perfect tournament. With Selvin Davids pulling the strings, South Africa were able to cruise through the group stage and beat reigning champions New Zealand. They confidently beat Australia and Fiji to reach the final, where they were able to hold off a late Argentinian comeback for the win. Impie Visser scored the first try of the final, with Shilton van Wyk scoring what turned out to be the winning try in the 5th minute. South Africa were even down a man in the second half, with Ryan Oosthuizen being shown a yellow card for a dangerous tackle. Despite that, the Springboks were still able to hold off the Pumas and claimed their 5th Dubai Sevens title in a row. It couldn't have been a better start for the Springboks. For one thing, they kick off their campaign with an impressive victory that included a win over the reigning champions. Secondly, it also takes them back to their home event off the back of an impressive win. They will hope to go back-to-back in Cape Town and put up a similar performance in front of their home fans. All Blacks stutter. The reigning Sevens champions New Zealand did not begin their campaign in the form they had hoped to. For one thing, they were less than convincing in the group stage. The All Black Sevens went down 21-12 to Canada. Thankfully, Canada had to deal with a few injuries, and New Zealand were able to overturn the deficit for a 26-21 victory. But New Zealand were the team on the wrong end of a comeback in the final game of the group stage. Ronald Brown and Masande Mtshali scored late tries for South Africa as New Zealand fell in the group stage. They weren't able to overcome their defensive issues in the semi-finals either. Argentina were allowed to score 3 tries against New Zealand, and the All Black Sevens were not able to reach the final. What New Zealand can at least take away from the tournament is that they finished in good form. The All Black Sevens had a difficult task with Fiji in the bronze final, but wanted to make sure they got as many points out of the game as possible. They didn't look like getting many points out of the tournament, with the game tied at 12-12, heading into the final few seconds. That was before Fehi Finyanganofo stepped and burst through 2 defenders to score the game-winning try to secure a 3rd-place finish for New Zealand. 5 of their 6 games being a 1-score game is not a great sign for New Zealand, but they will at least be able to move forward with 16 points. Argentina continue their form. It has been a good few years for Argentinian rugby. The national team reached the Rugby World Cup semi-finals in the 15s, with their Sevens showing impressive performances as well. Last season was Argentina's highest ever finish in the Sevens series, just 21 points behind eventual champions New Zealand. Even more impressive is that Argentina picked up 2 wins along the way, beating New Zealand in Hamilton in the final last year. Heading into this season, we did not know whether last year was a fluke or Argentina are actually for real and can compete at the top level consistently. Well, it certainly looks like they have the resources to impress. Argentina have mostly the same squad from last year, and it is paying off early on. They began the weekend with 3 high-scoring victories, including 4 tries against Argentina. Los Pumas Sevens had double-digit wins in all 3 of their group stage games. They made things a little bit more difficult in the quarterfinals, going down 14-0 to Samoa before Marcos Moneta scored a pair of tries to help them escape with the 21-14 victory. Argentina had to come from behind again in the semi-final, but beat the reigning champions, New Zealand. Falling to this exceptional South African side in the final is not that much of an issue. They are still one of the best teams in the competition. Ireland and Terry Kennedy are really good. This might not be a surprise to any Sevens series fans to hear, but just in case you needed reminding, Ireland and Terry Kennedy are really good. For Ireland, the Dubai Sevens was a good start to their season, picking up 12 points thanks to a solid 5th place finish. That 5th place gives Ireland a solid start as they look to bounce back from a down season last year. They do really have one man to thank for those points, that being 2021-22 Player of the Year, Terry Kennedy. Kennedy scored once as Ireland shocked Australia in the first game of the weekend, with his hat-trick against Spain securing a simple. Ireland lost out to Fiji in the quarterfinals, with their defence really letting them down against the 4-time champions. So what do you think about the first weekend of a brand new Sevens series? Why not put your thoughts in the comments down below? While you're down there, why not hit the like button and subscribe? Thank you for watching, and please watch our video on Cape Town Sevens next.